What is up, my friend? It is 12 o'clock on a Tuesday. And you know what that means? It is Build with the CEO, with your favorite CEO, Trevor here. I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm kind of fired up. I got my dad's sweater on. I got the Mad Bomber hat, and I'm making a little bit of an audible. I'm making a little bit of an audible today. So originally I was going to talk about systems. Okay. I was going to talk about systems and some major systems that I feel like every coach should have in their business from a coaching standpoint. But I had a great call right before this with Coach Catalyst user. We were talking about challenges, and he was planning on running a challenge coming up here in the new year. And I figured that's probably a better topic for today, is talking about challenges and giving you some insight into, we've ran challenges for like over a decade, and the vast majority of our training business has been built off of challenges as kind of an entry point for a lot of new people. Now, you will have some people on the internet that are talking about challenges being dead and all of this stuff. And it's nothing more than clickbaity information, because challenges really aren't anything new. They've been around for a long time. They're a way for someone to try your services without having to commit to necessarily a long period of time. And they help you get a result for a client. So prove that you can help them be successful. Yes, it may attract a slightly different client than someone that just is ready to sign up. But I don't think that really matters. I think challenges can be, or just call in short-term programs if you don't like the term challenge, right? I think they can be a very important revenue stream in your business. That can be an important product offering that can help move people into long-term programs. So let's talk about challenges. I want to kind of define them a little bit, and we can talk about best practices around them, because we've ran a lot of them. We've ran big challenges. Actually, Coach Catalyst exists. It exists because we ran challenges. We were having issues running challenges with large groups of people, 50, 100, 150 people. And that's why we started Coach Catalyst. So fun fact. So let's first talk about, when I'm talking about a challenge, what does it mean? Really, this is a group coaching program. Okay. This is what it is. There is a curriculum that everyone is going through. There is a defined time period, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, right? And then we can add individualization on top of that, but everyone is pretty much going through the same thing, right? In Coach Catalyst, we have a bunch of these type of programs in the marketplace, right? They're 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 5 days, whatever, right? Everyone is going through it at the same pace. You can think about this as like our traditional education system, right? Everybody starts on January 1, right? And we all get the same lesson on January 1, January 2nd, January 3rd, January 4th, so on and so forth, as opposed to tutoring, where the curriculum is adapted to the individual. Right here, everyone is following the curriculum from A to B to C to D. We can add some individualization on top of that, but from the start, the curriculum is the same. So that's how we're defining a challenge. But what a lot of people, when they think about challenge, they think of weight loss challenge, which weight loss is a great niche to utilize this type of front end offer, right? Because it allows you to prove that you can help this client be successful. And in 6 weeks, like, you can see 10, 12, 15, I've even seen 20 pounds of weight loss, right, in that time frame. And so you can get a client a really good result in this time frame. So I like 6 weeks personally. It's kind of that sweet spot of long enough to get someone really good results, not too long where the client is starting to get bored, but also not too short. Six weeks kind of, to me, is kind of like the Goldilocks of this front end offer challenge. So one mistake that we made early on in the challenge world was we used to reward results. Excuse me. We used to reward people that lost the most weight, right? Which was effective, but also wasn't effective. It was effective in motivating a small subset of our clients, but ended up alienating a lot of our clients. Because if you're not in the running to win the weight loss challenge, you typically stop trying to lose weight, which is really counterintuitive, right? Because the goal is for you to lose weight. But if you're not winning, then like, it's why even continue to participate, right? So we found that we were starting to have people drop off. And that's not necessarily a good thing. If this is some people's first experience with us, if they drop off in week 3 or week 4, the likelihood of them turning into a member afterwards is probably pretty low, right? So we wanted a way where we got more people to the finish line. And what we came up with was a simple benchmark system where we would set a benchmark for a particular challenge. Usually it's 80 to 90%. And if someone hit that benchmark, remember, it's you against you, right? To hit the benchmark, they won the prize. And the prize didn't matter. We could give away coffee cups. We could give away stickers. We could give away socks. We could give away tumblers. We could give away vacation packages. We've done it all. Vacation packages did not get any more people to the finish line than a sticker did. Okay. Recognition is what's important. The actual thing is not all that important, right? So, excuse me. So benchmarking was our solution, and benchmarking based upon compliance to the program. And compliance to the program is really adjusted over the years as well. We used to have like a daily compliance. You either follow the rules or you didn't follow the rules. You did the work or didn't do the work. And it was very binary. But we got a lot of pushback. Because someone may get it right 90% of the time, but because they didn't get right 100% of the time, on that day they had to mark not compliant or not done or no. Which to us, like, kind of went against what we taught, right? Because many times we don't teach perfection because perfection is not sustainable, right? We teach good enough to get the result. What's the minimum effective dose? So we found that 80 to 90% could get us there. And so the only way to get to 80 or 90% was to start breaking things down. So we went from having one question for the day, and you'll probably see this in some of our older work, like in Clean and Lean, you see one question, eat real food, which I think can be effective, right? You either ate real food or you didn't on any given day. Define what that is, right? And they did it or didn't do it. Cool, super effective, right? But it just left too much room for some nuance. So we decided to break it down. And we went compliant breakfast, compliant lunch, compliant dinner, no snacking, drinking 2 liters of water. Those were kind of our core 5. And we broke them down into meals because it's a little bit easier. I shouldn't say it's a little bit easier. We broke them down into meals so that someone could have a great breakfast, a great lunch, maybe had wine with dinner, or they're going to have to mark no, but they don't have to mark no for the entire day. They just mark no for dinner. And that also actually gives us better insight into what's going on as coaches, because we can see, are there patterns in meals that clients might be missing? Right? When I look at their client journey, I can easily see the reds, right? I can see the meals that they might be missing, and cool. Now I can help that client work on that meal. Maybe it's dinners. Maybe we're not prepared. Maybe it's breakfasts. Maybe I need 2 or 3 just options for breakfast that I can rotate through. If I don't know as a coach, I can't help them. And so that gave us better insight into what meals clients were missing. And it helped clients because they could have a great most of the day, right? And again, remember, everything is worth a single point. So in any given challenge, I was just doing this math with this coach I was working with, but I didn't write it down. I'll do the math right now. So let's say it's a 6-week challenge, right? 6-week challenge is 42 days. Let's say every day you had 5 action items that they would tick off. Okay, 42 times 5. That gives us 210 total points for a challenge. And let's say we're going for 80%. So we're going to times that by 0.9. Now we have 189 completed actions in order to get 80%. So if you got 189 or higher points, you win. Okay, so that means that gives you 21 points that you can miss. Glass of wine with dinner, out to eat with friends, whatever you want, right? You get to choose on how you want to use those 21 points. Cool. And so that gave our clients a little bit of that, it's not the all or nothing mindset, right? It's like, get it right most of the time, and you're probably going to be pretty successful. And that's what we know as coaches, right? You don't need to be 100% perfect. But the other thing it forced our clients to do was to focus on the process. Right? Because to get a result, it's the process that matters. It's not necessarily the outcome, right? I can try and will my physiology. I can do all the thinking, all the meditation to make my physiology get better at burning fat. And I'm not going to lose weight, right? It's the process. I need to ultimately eat less calories, right, than my body burns on any given day. And when I do that, my body will use its natural energy stores, right, aka fat, and I lose weight. Cool. And it's a very simplified approach, but ultimately that's the mechanism. Yeah, there's lots of other things that influence it, but that's the mechanism we need to try and get to work. And so if people focus on the things that help reduce their daily caloric intake, like eating more lean proteins, eating lots of vegetables and fruits, being strategic about carbs, drinking plenty of water, not drinking any calories, abstaining from alcohol and other caloric containing beverages, you know what? They're probably going to move in the direction that they want to move, right? Um, but that's all stuff they have control over. They don't have control over, will their body be really efficient at burning fat, or will we release fat from our fat cells? Like, we can't just will that stuff to happen. And so we tried to shift the focus from the result to the process, which came into the point system, right? All they need is 189 points to win, and they win whatever. Mad Bomber hats. Doesn't matter. Like, just whatever. Just find something to give away to them. Build it into the challenge price. Like, we need some sort of reward, right, for these people. It doesn't need to be fancy. Okay. So we have points, right, that they're going to check out. So we like compliant breakfast, compliant lunch, compliant dinner, and you get to define what compliant means. As part of the education process, you are defining what compliant means. Maybe it means eating only whole foods. Maybe it means keto. Maybe it means vegan. Maybe it means whatever you want compliant to be for your challenge. That's what compliant is. Cool. Then we found no snacking, right, to be an effective one. Really simple. Did I snack or not? Did I have just meals, right? We found a lot of clients were struggling with their weight because they weren't consuming meals. They were kind of having meals. There are lots of stuff in between. And so it gave us a nice framework. Did you have food outside of meals? Yes or no? Even if it was healthy? Yes or no? Yes. Cool. Mark it as no. That could be ones that you don't want to skip out on. You maybe have ice cream after dinner or something like that. Cool. Like, that's part of the no snacking one. Awesome. Mark it as not done. I don't care. No good or bad, right? No shame, right? Because the goal is not 100%, right? So from that, then we went no snacking, and then typically a water beverage one, like drink 2 liters of water. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the whole like half your body weight in ounces, because we have some clients that weigh 350 pounds. I don't think they need to consume 175 ounces of water a day. That is a lot of water, right? So we found about 2 liters of water to be a nice, effective one. A couple Nalgene bottles, right, throughout the day, and you're going to be pretty good, right? Our bodies are actually pretty effective at managing hydration. And so if you do more than that, awesome. But let's just make that the baseline. Cool, right? And for a lot of people, they go from not doing much at all to now they're consistently walking around with a water bottle. Awesome, we're winning, right? So those would be the 5 core ones that we typically go with, but then we also may add on like a 6th. That one sometimes is 30 minutes of movement. That one is sometimes rotating every week if we want to build in a lifestyle component. One week it might be no alcohol. One week it might be no added sugars. Another week it might be sleep 7 hours or spend 7 hours in your bed. Another one might be turn off screens by 7 p.m. Another one might be meditate for 10 minutes. Another one might be write 3 gratitudes. It can be whatever you want, right? This is your world. You can, whatever you feel like is going to help your clients be successful, right? Put it in there, right? And again, we don't need to be perfect, right? So now if we had a 6th one in there, right? Let's do the math there quick. 6 times 42. That gives us 252 potential points, right? And again, this takes us away from the perfection mindset and focuses more on the process. And you can utilize a lot of this stuff in the marketing. Is why is your challenge better than someone else's? Why isn't this the biggest loser? And you can talk about and you can kind of agitate all of these things. And here's why we're doing it differently, right? Because we want you to be successful for life, right? We just want you to be successful for the next 6 weeks. And you being successful for life means you focusing on the process and doing the process good enough, not perfectly, not getting every point. You don't get any more rewards. You don't get more stickers for being perfect, right? We need to get to good enough. good enough to make the change to move in the direction that you want, right? Obviously, the closer we get to perfection, probably the faster we're going to get there. But again, we're not worried about necessarily speed here. We're learning about you not having to do this every 6 months, right? To get the weight off. The goal is to help you find a lifestyle that you can be successful with. And that's the whole point of the program, right? Then the vast majority of people are going to need more coaching afterwards, right? So then we offer our normal coaching programs, coaching packages, and maybe next week I can talk a little bit more about how we want to be structuring, how we want to be structuring some of those offers. Because there are ways to do it. Some people are money sensitive, some people are time sensitive or commitment sensitive, and we can make offers in different ways to help. And that's not really what I would want you to be focused on at this point. Really, I want you to be focused on finding something that you can launch in January. Something that you can launch. Use something that we've created, right? Create your own. Doesn't really matter, but let's launch something in January. If you're a coach that only has a couple of clients, let's launch something. Let's get something out there and let's start coaching people. And I think this type of program is a really easy thing to launch because it resonates. It resonates with people. So Todd had the question in Riverside about, is there a challenge in Coach Catalyst that hits all or most of what you've covered today? So actually, kind of the framework that I like the best with this stuff is, first, you as a coach, how do you coach? What do you want people to work on? Or what do you feel like are some of the most effective daily actions that they can do? Start there. List those out. Okay. If most of those are nutrition related, I would then go get probably Clean and Lean is one of my favorite. It's like tried and true, right? It's tried and true. We can call it something different if we want to, but the information that's in there is going to be just solid from a nutrition standpoint. Solid from a eat more real food, eat more whole foods. Here's what vegetables, proteins, carbs, and all those things are. I think it's a really solid one. U 2.0 is going to be another really good one. And that one is, I believe it's kind of under construction right now, but I think you can get some of the other versions. I believe those are still in the marketplace. The UK and the Canadian version are in there. So at least you can see what it's all about. I believe that one adds in a few more extra lifestyle things. And then if you find yourself maybe moving more towards the lifestyle factors, then I would check out the Lifestyle Challenge. There's a ton of content in there around things like turning off screens and meditation and gratitude and that kind of stuff, if you want that to be part of what you're doing, right? And so first we decide on what those actions are, and then we think about the content that will support those actions, right? That's just a nice little framework that you can utilize to go with it. But I think Clean and Lean checks a lot of the boxes. There's U 2.0, and then there's one other one that is escaping me at the moment. It's not New Year, New You. That's just a framework. And you can call it whatever you want too. Like, don't feel like you need to use the name Clean and Lean. Call it whatever you want, but then just go through the lessons and make sure you take out Clean and Lean and put in the name of what you call it. That's where I would start. And I'll think of the next one. I think I'm going to be writing an email on this tomorrow as well. So I'll see if I can include it in that email, what that other one was. But it's just a much more effective approach to helping people think about these lifestyle and behaviors differently. And so challenge is kind of a term that we throw around a lot. And I like to still use it because people kind of understand the concept, right? I don't want to have to educate on something new, but then we just run a challenge in a way that is more effective. That's going to help someone be more successful. Right. And then if we think about pricing, I think that's always something that always comes up is if we think about pricing for a challenge, the easiest place to start with this is think about what your coaching would cost for 6 weeks. Right. Let's say monthly coaching with you would be like $300 a month. Cool. 6 weeks of that would be $450. Right. Let's call it $497 for a challenge. Right. 6 weeks of coaching. It's done in a group format, but that really doesn't matter. The client cares about, can you get them a result, right? If you can get them a result, the format doesn't matter, right? Whether it's one-to-one or group or whatever, right? And so don't necessarily get bogged down with that, right? And so take whatever your normal monthly rate would be, multiply it by 1.5, right? That gives us a 6-week time frame, and then go higher, right? Up to the 97 or up to the 47 or something like that. And then there's your price, right? And then go out and tell the world about it, tell more people about it, and get people into the program, right? And get people results, right? The more testimonials you have, the more social proof, the easier it becomes. Right away, maybe you have to go a little bit lower, but as a new coach, your price points probably should be lower because you don't necessarily have the skills yet to get the results that that you can get people, right? It just takes time, like anything, right? We just get better at it. So, and then like honestly, like you can take this stuff and if you develop a great challenge, find a couple gyms in town that you can run it for, right? Find a couple other organizations that you could potentially run it for. It's an asset that is very leverageable and is very scalable too. So, um, yeah, I don't want to cover too much today. I think that helps at least start thinking about that because I mean we're pretty early right now, and I mean maybe I'll spend the next couple of weeks talking about challenges a little bit more and structuring and all of that because hopefully this helps you get the wheels turning. But we need to start planning this stuff now. We need to start mapping all of this stuff out, right? So that when January hits, we're ready to like launch. We're not thinking about what we're going to do and in this or that. And so those are just some things that we've learned from our challenges to help them be a little bit more effective, have better conversions because we're getting more people to the finish line. And so hopefully that helps you think about them a little bit differently, use the assets and resources that we've created and go out and, have an impact in your community. That's really what it's about is helping get people results. So challenges are not dead. They aren't. So go out and use them. So I'm going to just check here all the places just to make sure I don't have any comments. Oh, we got a couple here. Samaj, if my one-to-one is more custom, would it make sense to price this lower? So Samaj, I mean, on the pricing thing, like, potentially, yeah, but also potentially not. Like if it can get the person the result, I don't think it really matters. You can try and price it lower. I know a lot of people that have higher tier coaching will then bring in a group coaching program like a challenge at a lower price point. And so I mean you can play with it and see like if people get really good results out of something, like make it more expensive, right? And so yeah, I wish I had like a great formula to be like, hey, just charge this much, but it's hard. Remember with pricing, like there's a couple factors that drive pricing, right? One is how strong is the pain. The pain is really, really, really strong. We can typically go higher, right? Two is how much proof is there that I can solve this pain, right? The bigger my wall of fame, right? Or the bigger my bank of testimonials, the more I can charge, right? Because there's more belief from the consumer that they are going to get what they are looking for, right? So strong pain, strong social proof, higher price point, right? If we're missing any of those other ones, if it's kind of a medium to low term pain, but we have a lot of social proof, we can be higher, right? But if it's a low pain and we have no social proof, we're probably on the lower end, right? And so those can be two of kind of those factors. Another thing that can play in a price, not as much here, is like how fast can you solve how fast can you solve the problem. So if you can solve it really fast, then your price is typically a lot higher as well. But I like to think more about like, do I have a ton of social proof that it is very believable that I can solve this for this client? And then two, how strong is that pain? Right. If I'm in excruciating back pain right now and you have my solution, I'm probably willing to pay any amount of money to get rid of it. Right. But if I just have this thing like, it'd be nice to do this, I'm probably not as willing to invest as much. Right. Because I'm maybe not as committed. So stuff to think about as you go along. Let me check YouTube quick. Oh, sweet. YouTube didn't stream. Sweet. Cool. All right. Well, that's that. If you do have questions, and that's what the Facebook group is for, more than happy to have you jump on a call with Build the CEO and we can hash through it live and in person. That would be helpful for the community as well. So if I can help in any way, if our team can help in any way, just make sure you tag us in the Facebook group, and we'll get right to it. So I hope you guys enjoy your Tuesday. I hope that it is warmer where you are than where it is where I am. If not, wear a Mad Bomber hat. So you guys have a great day. We'll see you later. See you next Tuesday.